everybody. This is Taina, the Third Stage Astrology channel, and we are doing our Heartbreaker series. I'm talking to my senior astrology student, Isobel, the woman of mystery, who's on the other end of the phone. And she mentioned before calling me like talking to a DJ. Now, we are doing the Heartbreakers on all the sun signs, but this particular Heartbreaker is on one of the moon signs, because this one particular moon sign is often a major heartbreaker. It does not mean that everybody who has moon in Libra is a heartbreaker. And again, it depends on the stages. And you can look at some of the videos we have about the basic premise of third stage astrology, that we stay the same sign for a long series of lifetimes, and we go through 3 stages with each sign. Each stage is a different personality type. The moon signs also have stages. We usually do the moon sign stages along with our sun sign stage. Usually, everybody's a little different. But so basically, if a person is really in first stage, deep in first stage, or way out into third stage, they're not going to express this heartbreaker element of moon in Libra. But a lot of people who are otherwise expressing themselves can be huge, major heartbreakers. Now, the reason for that is because the moon is the sign we were before we're the sign we are now. So there's the memory. The moon always holds the memory of our older experiences that are still affecting us on an unconscious, subconscious, habitual level. And therefore, a person who has moon in Libra also goes through this 3 stages of Libra. So you can also look at the video about the 3 stages of Libra, the 3 stages of sun in Libra. It will apply to people with moon in Libra. On top of that, the moon sign often holds a kind of concentrated version of the memories of all the stages. Especially moon and Libra people have that. Every moon sign's a bit different. But
why?
I don't really know. I mean, I just guess every person is different. Libra in general can have a little bit of inertia. So the memories of moon and Libra stick more because of that inertia factor. But what happens specifically to moon and Libra people is they have a subconscious memory of second stage Libra. And in second stage Libra, the person keeps trying to make relationships work. And at first they succeed with a difficult partner, and then they choose a more difficult person and a more difficult person and a more difficult person until they end up in an almost impossible situation. So what happens with a moon and Libra person is they have this deep subconscious memory of things going from worse to worse to worse. Relationships are a trap. Relationships are hell. I'm going to lose myself. I won't have an identity. And it's not a conscious thing. A lot of people with moon and Libra have no idea they break hearts. They see themselves as very romantic people, and they are very romantic people. They're very interested in relationships. They're very driven to relationships, but they also often have a really strong subconscious commitment phobia that drives them.
Yep.
So you, Isobel, you have moon in Libra. Could you describe what that was like?
I can, but I just would like to correct something. I don't think I'm a woman of mystery. I think I'm a woman of great grumpiness.
Okay.
I think mystery was
of Leo. Yes, a grumpy Leo.
It's not so much women. I mean, it sounds lovely. I'd love to be a woman of mystery, but I'm not. I'm simply a curmudgeon who likes to be left alone.
Okay.
Which is why I'm
okay.
So that's the Leo piece. But anyway, We'll get to that another time. Moon and Libra. Well, you know, what you just described is absolutely right. I'm like to think I'm very romantic, though I have been told I'm not. Because the image I have of myself is apparently quite different than the way other people see me. I have noticed that, particularly partners who don't find me romantic or expressive or demonstrative. Right. And I think I'm being so expressive and demonstrative and romantic, and apparently I'm dead wrong. Right. So I know that, well, for instance, when I was in high school and all my friends wanted boyfriends, I did not want a boyfriend. I thought,
it's very common with moon and Libra people in that
there will so be plenty of time for that.
Yes.
And all I wanted to do was be with my friends. And I remember New Year's Eve, and we'd all get together and order 80,000 different types of food and have sleepovers on New Year's Eve. And everybody would say, oh, maybe next year we'll have a boyfriend. And I kept thinking, oh, God, that'll be awful. We will never have as much fun as we are having right now. Once a boyfriend enters into it, it's all over. Game over. Dead.
Yes.
This was what I was young and I already felt that way.
Well, yeah, because memory from the past lives. You start out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, of course.
No.
I just thought, like, a boyfriend, that's going to wreck everything. Like, we're
Yes.
sitting here, we're having fun, we're eating like, Chinese food and pizza and gorging ourselves and laughing. I mean, once a boy comes along, there's going to be no more fun.
Right.
And I was right for much of my life.
Yes.
And so
Well, yeah, that's what makes them more cynical, right? Libra can be
yeah,
cynical, sun or moon, if there's any second stage in there.
yeah, and I didn't. Well, I eventually did get a boyfriend, but I guess the word to describe it would be skittish. Didn't
Skittish,
mean to.
yes.
I saw myself again as very romantic, all of that stuff, but I remember being really terrified, and this happened a lot as I was ending high school and going into, early university, where I would get crushes on people. There were horrible crushes. I would be thinking about this person all the time. And the
Yes.
minute they expressed even the slightest
Yes.
amount of interest in me,
Yes.
I'd run away.
Yes. You're reminding me of a moon and Libra person I know who, when he was in high school, he had this really, really attracted to this one girl, and he really wanted to be with her. And she couldn't decide between him and some other guy. And it was taking her a long, long time to decide. And she finally decided she wanted him. And then he went, no, I don't want that. I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. And so I hate to say this, we end up breaking hearts, but we really don't mean to. It's
Exactly.
horrifying. And the reason we're breaking heart is because we don't mean to. Let
Yes.
me explain. I was always so nervous, and I thought, well, for one thing, I'd have this image of this cutie pie that I would have crushes on, and there were tons of them in school. And the minute I got to know them for 5 seconds, meaning that they actually talked to me, suddenly they weren't what I thought they were in my mind, because nobody can ever be what they are in your mind. And I didn't want to be stuck with a mere mortal.
Right.
Then the fear, oh my God, I'm going to be stuck. I'm going to be stuck with this guy. And
Yes.
of course, I'd run away, leaving one very confused guy behind going, what just happened? And that was the story of my life well into my 20s.
Yes.
And then eventually, somehow, somebody wormed their way in. Quite shocking, but there it happened. And then what happens is I get stuck. Didn't
Because
want to
then
get
you
stuck,
always
stuck.
feared would happen eventually happens.
Of course. Then I don't want to be, I was happy for a couple of years, then I didn't want to be there anymore. And it took me forever to leave because I didn't want to hurt him. And I kept hoping he would meet somebody else. And it was sort of like this convoluted,
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
want to hurt anybody's feelings. I was horrified. I didn't want to hurt any.
yeah.
I felt like I knew what it was like to have my feelings hurt, even though, think
Yes.
about it, really, how did I?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I somehow viscerally knew I didn't
Mhm.
want to do that to anybody else. And of course, ended up doing it all over the place.
Yes. Yes, it's terrible. Because when in
I
Libra,
know.
they
I
honestly
know.
really don't want to do that. And a lot of times when they run away, then they have horrible regrets and they're thinking about that person all the time
Oh,
and they
God.
want
Now
to
you're
come
making.
back to be with them. And because everybody's telepathic, whether we admit to it or not, we all as human beings have all agreed we're going to pretend we're not telepathic, but we are. So when the Moon and Libra person is thinking about the person they've run away from, that person they've run away from is not able to let go because something is still there. Something is still holding them to that person. And then the Moon and Libra person comes back and says, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. It'll be different now. And they truly believe that when they're saying it. But what they don't know is there's this little subconscious mechanism in there. And they can feel so wonderful about a wonderful, wonderful relationship and things are going so beautiful. I'm so in love with you. They wake up one morning and everything feels creepy. Everything
Yes.
feels scary and weird. And it's like,
Scary,
God,
scary,
what have I
scary.
gotten
Crap.
myself into? This feels
Yes.
really
Yes.
off.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and then I can't handle this. I got to get out of here. And it's just this blind panic and off they go
Yeah.
to beat
Well,
themselves up and start the cycle again.
yeah. To be fair, I never actually did that to anyone.
I
Once I
have
was
seen
gone, I was
people
gone.
who do though. Moon and Libra
Yeah.
heartbreakers can do
Yeah.
that quite easily.
I know. Once I was gone, I was gone. I mean, delete from memory,
Well,
gone.
yes. Well, there are those like that do that too.
Yeah. I was so happy to be gone that I was like, oh, thank God I'm out of there. And this sounds awful. I mean, we sound like horrible people. We really do. I mean, when I'm hearing it, just talking about it, I feel so guilty. It's now that I understand why. It was a subconscious memory of bad relationships and this terror, this fear of being trapped,
Yes.
fear of being trapped, fear of being trapped. Because I knew once I committed to a relationship that I wasn't going to play around, that I was going to be very serious about it.
Yes.
So I had to think very, very carefully. or
Right.
whether I really wanted to be there. And if I somehow found myself in a relationship, I would be trapped.
Yes. Yes.
So, of course, if the guy had spinach in his teeth or something was going to turn me off when I was younger, I had to run away because I knew I'm going to be trapped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fear of being trapped really is what it is. And you get turned off by the stupidest stuff.
Yes. And usually usually the reason you get turned off by the stupidest stuff is because, again, subconsciously, you're looking for an excuse to get turned off. And this is when I'm talking to people who are trying to deal with a Moon and Libra person, they find a lot of times the Moon and Libra person will give them a reason why they can't be with them. And they'll run away, then they'll come back and they'll give them a completely different reason why they can't be with them. And so over time, they build up a list of 3 or 4 or 7 all different reasons. And the poor person who's trying to be in a relationship with the Moon and Libra person keeps trying to work through all these reasons, but they're not real reasons, actually.
No, they're not the real reason. I know
What
that
the Moon and Libra person is using at that moment, and they're not conscious of doing it. So they really think the reason in that moment. They panic about that real reason, but by the time they come back, they've forgotten all about that reason.
Yeah. Well, again, I didn't do that, but what I did do was start making trouble.
Right.
Like I would start making trouble, hoping that the person would leave.
Oh yeah.
Where I didn't have to break there. They never left. How come they didn't leave? I ended up having to leave them anyway, and it was horrible because they just wouldn't leave. I don't know why I was attracting people that wouldn't go away. Right. You can hear our earlier session about Sun and Cancer and why I wouldn't leave that either. But I kept hoping, like, please go away, find somebody, fall in love, and they wouldn't go away because again, the horror of breaking somebody's heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess,
and that's what can keep a Moon and Libra person in a bad relationship.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes a Moon and Libra person can be in a bad relationship with somebody, and then they're talking to you. They want to be in a relationship with you, but they keep running away and they keep going back to the bad relationship. This is another pattern I've seen.
Wow.
And the reason for that is because they're subconsciously expecting a bad relationship, and the bad relationship, at least, is the devil they know. Whereas the new possibility, they don't know the devil yet. And until Moon and Libra people can fix this problem. But because it's subconscious, it takes a long time and it takes a lot of consciousness. And until they fix that problem, they can actually be more freaked out by a really good experience in a relationship, because a good experience means they still haven't seen what's wrong with the situation.
Exactly. Where's the crack? I know there's a crack somewhere. Where is it? If I don't see it.
I know there's a monster under the bed somewhere. That's what I always tell people.
It's going to be bad. At least I have to decide which kind of bad it is. If I don't see bad, then there's really bad somewhere hiding that I don't know about. Yeah, exactly. That's terrifying. Again, fear of being.
And so the poor person being left by the Moon and Libra person goes, what did I do wrong? Why am I not desirable?
Yeah, it's not that at all.
It's not that. It's that. Ironically, it's that you were maybe a little bit too good, and they were afraid that there was a bad there that probably doesn't exist.
No. We were not afraid. We knew. We knew there's a bad there. There's not afraid. We know there's something bad. I need to know what it is.
Right, but there isn't always something bad.
Well, I have found that out finally.
Yes.
But for I'd say about 6 decades or so, I did not know this.
Yeah. So we're dealing with a subconscious-based commitment phobia when you have Moon and Libra, and that's why they break people's hearts, and they certainly do it in a very kind way, and they come back, and if they come back, because some do, they do promise you that this is all good now, and they believe it. So how can we deal with this? Well, I mean, a lot depends on what stage is the person in general with their sun sign, because in general, there are the 3 stages, and a first stage person is just living a simple life, most of the signs. A second stage person is reacting from the subconscious in every way. They are not learning about themselves. They're not trying to grow. They're in denial about a lot of truths. There's a lot of other negatives that are coming along with the relationship. That type of person, if they have Moon in Libra, you're never going to get through to them. Things are just not going to work. Their commitment phobia is still going to cause all kinds of problems. Some Moon in Libra people can also stay in a relationship, but they always have one foot out the door.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the relationship, I've got one foot out the door all the time. So every other week, I'm freaking out. I don't know if I want to be with this person. And they're putting everybody, including themselves, through the hell of that. If they're deeply in second stage, that's not going to change either. But if they are in second, third stage, so they're trying to learn about themselves, they're trying to grow, they have some spiritual understanding, they're having some inspirational aha moments about their life, they're really trying to fix really deep pain, then there's hope there. But there's you still, if they haven't mastered their moon in Libra, you still have to handle them very, very carefully. So the way you handle a moon and Libra person, and I wouldn't bother trying if they're in second stage, but if they seem to be into growth, the way to handle them is you have to be their rock. You have to be that calm place they can come to away from the storms of their own crazy fears and reactions. It's really important not to make them feel like they're hurting you, even if they are, because the thing is that they will feel so bad about hurting you. Like Isobel was saying, Moon and Libra people, they really don't want to hurt anybody. So they're gonna think, if I'm really hurting you, well then I just better go away and stay away.
Oh,
Because,
exactly.
yeah, because that way I won't hurt you anymore.
Exactly.
And I sincerely mean that. It's a sincere act of love. So if you really want that person, you don't want to scare them off by being hurt. So don't talk about how you hurt me so much, because they'll go, oh my God, oh my God.
I'm hurting you so much, it would be best if I just left you. Find somebody nicer than me.
Yeah, exactly. So if you really want them, you don't want to let them know that at all. You want to stay calm. You want to be, oh, hi, you're back. Hey, it's great to see you. How are you doing?
Can't be too glib about it, or
you can't be too
casual about it, because then they think you
no.
don't care.
Yeah, of course. But that's why it's really about working on your own internal sense of security.
Yeah.
And knowing, okay, this person has a problem. It's not a problem that they're really conscious of, and it's not really their fault. They're not purposely trying to hurt me. But I sense, and one thing I know in all the years I've done all the kind of work that I do, every single one of us is psychic when it comes to our own relationships. We all know lots of truths about this situation, whether we want to admit them to ourselves or not, or whether we'll believe in them. The reason why people go to other people for advice is because if their intuition is telling them something good, they think it's wishful thinking. If their intuition is telling them something bad, they hope it's not true. So they don't trust yourself. If your own deeper instinct is that this is a relationship that's a good relationship and it's going to work out in the long run, this is who I'm meant to be with, I'm not going to be all dramatic about it, but I just know this is the one, then you need to stay calm and be there for them when they show back up again. And they're going through their positive cycle. And if they get to the point in their positive cycle where they start wondering about this pattern that they have, then you can start to say, yeah, I've noticed you do that. And I wonder where it's coming from, what goes on in you. Let them talk about what goes on in them. And then let them explore it until they can get to the point where they become a bit more conscious about how they're kind of having a knee-jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily making sense, because over time, they have gotten to see that you're pretty stable. You're not doing anything crazy. You're not overreacting. You're not freaking out at them. And you're not likely to be a bad partner. And if you are likely to be a bad partner, well, then maybe Libra has a point that they should get away from you. But if you really know that you're a good bet, you're a good partner, if you're patient with them and you wait for the right timing, you can help them get a little bit more conscious about what they're doing. And what a Moon and Libra person needs to do is, when they get into their cycle of panic, they need to let themselves just feel it without reacting to it, without taking the action of actually physically running away.
Yeah.
Because they have to go through those feelings and not believe in those feelings, not take them seriously. And then they'll learn how to stay, because they're also going through their stages of Libra. So if they're in second, third stage of whatever their sun sign is, and they're probably doing second, third stage with their moon sign. Even if they're in third stage of their sun sign, they could still be in second, third stage with the moon.
Well, Moon and Libra lags, doesn't it?
Yeah, Libra moves more slowly than other signs through the stages. So if they are a conscious human being, then they are actually at the point where they're karmically attracting a positive partner who is going to help them settle down and help them hold space for them to grow and to learn who they are and to nurture themselves, to get their own strength back. These are all the things that have to happen in second, third stage Libra. You may be that person for them. But do be careful and make sure this is a person who's really wanting to learn and grow, and be patient with them, because it's going to take them time to really recognize what they're doing. Make sure they don't feel responsible for your happiness. And nobody should be responsible for someone else's happiness. That's an illusion anyway. You need to be responsible for your own happiness, and be happy with your life regardless of what's going on, and take it from there.
What I wanted to say before was that it was kind of akin to something you were saying with the person I'm with right now, who also happens to be Moon in Libra. So that was just so much fun. Actually, it's the easiest relationship I've ever been in, because for some reason, it's almost like a Moon in Libra is the only person that can really get another Moon in Libra.
Yeah, it is the best.
So we have a shorthand. Whenever I tell him, I think you would be better somewhere else. I think you didn't sign up for this. I think I'm totally willing to let you go. And he looks at me and he says, "You're being a Moon and Libra, shut up." And that's the entire conversation. These are the conversations we now have. And they happen like never anymore. They happened a little bit more, and now they don't. But the way I put it is that what I'm really happy about, that he knows when to ignore me.
Right.
Which is kind of basically probably a more crude way of saying what you said earlier, which is he doesn't react to all my craziness.
That's right.
He just lets me be crazy.
Yes.
And he ignores me. And I'm going, oh, good. I get to be crazy with no fallout.
Yes.
Because he's ignoring me anyway.
Yes.
This is fabulous.
That's right.
And when he's being crazy, I go, okay, are you being Moon in Libra? And he goes, yeah. I go, okay, ignoring you. And we just move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whatever craziness. So we get along so well. I also think it's because, our moons are clearly transitional.
Yes.
So what we have learned, what I've discovered, because my whole life I thought relationships are work. I have to work on this. I have to work on this. I have to work. No wonder I was terrified. Who wanted to work so much on something? but that was what I felt. I don't work on this. This is like so not work. It feels, there's a little bit of me that sometimes think, what is wrong? I'm not working on this.
Right.
But then I remember nothing's wrong. This is the way it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And now I know whenever I see two people working on their relationship, I go, yeah, it's not supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
Which sounds counterintuitive, because everywhere, like society is all about work on your relationship, because that's how they get you to, buy tapes and books and spend all sorts of money. But the truth of it is that if it's the right relationship, it's not work.
Yeah.
It took me forever to learn
Libra, if your Sun or Moon in Libra, that's a really important rule. Yep.
Yeah. It's not actually supposed to be work.
No.
Who knew?
If you're that really good, positive person that Moon and Libra person can really have a wonderful relationship with, they may need to get used to the fact that you really aren't too good to be true.
Yeah.
That's why you have to stay calm. Just like Isobel's partner ignores and doesn't react to any of the drama. That's what you need to work on if you want this person. And if you just have a sense that this is the right person, it's not so good if we have a desperate need to be with this person. Maybe that's a projected need. You might want to consider that.
Yeah.
But if you really have a quiet knowing, this is the right person, and why are they driving me so crazy? Do they really want me? Don't let that break your confidence down. And stay the calm, unflappable, happy, solid rock.
Sort of pretty much ignore them.
Ignore.
I would put it. Just
ignore the drama.
Yeah. It's not that there's that much drama. I don't think when the Libra people tend to be that dramatic, but I guess it's drama with all the panicking and the running.
Yeah, there is internal drama, and they're going to often talk about it or go away with it. So the other person's going to experience something as a result.
Oh yeah, no, there's drama, but I'm just saying it's not, second stage cancer drama.
No.
It's sort of very rational. We need to discuss this, and now I'm panicking, so I'm going to go run away. Thank you, goodbye, see you later. Drama.
Yeah.
Kind of
right. And if they have been giving you some really serious, rational reasons to go away, and then they come back, forget about the old reasons. That's another thing that's helpful. Don't try to problem solve it, because they'll be looking at you like, what? And then it just adds to confusion.
I'm just reminded about when I got together with my current Moon in Libra, and I think this is it. This is the relationship. This is the forever one. It was so funny because I had been starting to have these feelings about him, and then there was like a weird miscommunication where he thought I'd said something I didn't say,
Right.
And I could tell that he liked me, and I kind of went into a panic, of course.
Yes.
And then I spent 2 days thinking about it. Now, this is so not a way to fall in love, but this is what worked for me. I think Moon and Libra needs to do this.
Yes.
I thought about it. I thought, I can tell that if I get involved with this guy, it's going to be very, very serious.
Yes.
And if I break his heart, it will be very, very bad.
Right.
You know, we weren't younger people. He had, life. And I thought, you need to really think about it. I spent 2 days just living with it, thinking, if you let him know that you're interested, even though he thinks you are because he misinterpreted something that he thought you said and didn't
Yeah.
want to listen to what you actually said because he has a Scorpio rising, and that's for another day. But I realized that he started texting me every day, after the misinterpretation, I thought, if I react to this, I'm taking a step into forever. You need to really, really think about this. So I really had to think about it. I spent 2 days thinking and dwelling and thinking, living with, is this forever? Like, this is forever. This is not, you're not a kid anymore. You're going to keep doing this crap. And I spent 2 days thinking about it. And I finally went, yeah, I'm okay with this. And of course, here we are.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's what I had to do.
That. They really will analyze things and think about things and think about the responsibility of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good, actually.
It's not that the feelings weren't there.
Right.
I clearly had feelings, but it all happened so fast.
Yeah.
That what's happening? What's happening? How did we go from being really good friends to this? What? I'm confused. What's happening? I'm going to go away and think now.
Yeah. Well, Moon is our emotional nature. And when Moon is in any air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, the person takes a rational approach to their emotional nature.
Well, to be fair, I never did that before. I went running off into eloping
right.
More than once, I might add, and flinging myself into completely unsuitable relationships and just being pretty much a whack job for most of my life. And sort of finally realized I can't carry on like this. This is not.
Yeah, that is the weird part about when Moon and Libra is in second stage, like I said, they'll second guess the good ones and they'll plunge headlong into the bad ones.
Oh, absolutely.
It's what the subconscious remembers as being normal.
It wasn't even second guess the good ones. Oh, good, completely delete, go, reject immediately. Oh, this one's too good for me. And here's the funny thing. I never told you this. Here's the funny thing. With my current partner, when I first met him, and he was lovely, and we were friends, and it was absolutely, totally just purely a friendship.
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself, because a friend of mine mentioned that he would be a good partner for me, and my first thought was, nah, he's too good for me.
Right. Wow.
I never told you that, did I?
I think you did, actually. I do remember.
Did I?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
So serious memory problems here. Yeah, I thought he's too good for me because he's good.
Yes.
Good. I mean, I was like the bad boys, and I ran off and drove scooters into walls, and pretty much was nuts. And I thought, oh, he's good.
Yeah.
He's lived a good life. He's a good boy. And I thought, what's a good boy going to want to do with you? I don't want to have anything to do with you. So this is the landscape upon which this relationship was built.
Yeah, yeah.
And suddenly I realized, oh, he does like me.
Yeah.
Oh, I must think about it. Yeah. A lot of thinking going on. But we are emotional. We just...
yeah, very much.
We don't express it that much. Or you know what? I like to differentiate between feeling and emotional.
Yes.
I have lots of feelings, but I'm not emotional.
Right.
I think maybe that's Moon and Libra, where they can feel things, but they don't express things all that much.
Yes, yes.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So, at any rate, that kind of sums up Moon and Libra. And if you don't understand Moon and Libra, you're gonna really make all kinds of erroneous conclusions about why the person's acted the way they are. So the most valuable thing about this video is for people to help people to understand what's really going on with Moon and Libra. And then you can decide what to do from there. There can really be a happy ending. There always ultimately will be a happy ending for Moon and Libra people. They may not have it, may not be ready for it yet in this lifetime, but they'll get it eventually. And if they're in the right place and you are the right person, you can get through it. And if they're really in the wrong place, you definitely you really should just give it up now, because they're not going to change.
They're not going to change. What I want you to say was, because you know that this is kind of, people always say that when ending a relationship, people always say, "Oh, it's not you, it's me."
Mm-hmm.
And everybody says, "Well, that's crap." Everybody knows
Yes.
it's not true. With Moon and Libra, it's actually true.
Yeah.
Believe it.
Yes.
When they say it's not you, it's me, it really is not you.
Yes, it really is. And a lot of times people don't hear it, because all they feel is, I'm really being rejected. There must be something this person doesn't want.
No,
This person doesn't
no,
want me. Often that's not the case.
no.
And it's
We spend our lives looking for a reason to reject you. This is
yeah.
We get into the relationship looking for a reason to reject you because
Yes.
we're terrified.
So if you've been rejected by a Moon and Libra person, 9 times out of 10, it's probably not your fault.
Oh, I'd say 99 out of 100. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think of the battered.
So don't worry about what you did wrong or what might be lacking in you. It really was not you. It's them.
Yes. You're hearing it from a Moon and Libra. I am telling you this. It's not you, it's me. It really was always not, well, in one case it was the other person, but
Yes.
he was a Cancerian, which
Well, that's why I say
all
9
bets
times
are
out
off.
of 10.
But really, I'm thinking of everybody else. It was always me.
Yeah.
And the person that finally brought me down was another Moon and Libra, because he knew how to ignore me.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the story of Moon and Libra.